Can a 0 DVs minimum battles Venomoth beat the entire game with no TMs and minimum battles? Today, let's try this. So we're going 0 DVs, no optional battles, no TMs, and no items in battle. This sounds like a tall order, but we've already done it with a Gengar last week, and after I went back and optimized the Gengar run, I was able to beat the entire game with only 29 resets. Now that might sound like a lot, but given that we have the worst possible stats and no TMs, 29 resets is pretty darn good for this kind of challenge. That got me thinking, if Gengar can do this, is there a similar but weaker Pokemon that can do the same thing? Well, I was drawing a blank, so I thought I'd go to Discord and ask some of the other Pokemon YouTubers there. But before I even posted the question, I found the answer staring me dead in the face. That's right at the bottom there. Oh my god. Scott's Thoughts has all of the answers. Seriously, is this psychic flying Pokemon exactly what I need in order to test my theories about how to beat the game with no TMs? Well, on the surface, it actually looks pretty good. Gengar and Venomoth both specialize in special and speed with kinda mediocre stats in other areas. And their movesets include strong psychic type attacks, confusion strategies, sleep moves, and of course a way to heal off of their opponents. This might actually work. So let's find out, is Venomoth a weaker equivalent to a Gengar? We're going to try this, and at the end, we're going to put these Pokemon into a tier list. More on that later. So here we're going to pick up our Venomoth in Professor Oak's lab. We can see it has 0 DVs, and now let's check its attack pool. We've got Tackle, Confusion, and Supersonic to really start off the game. Let's get started.
So let's try Rival 1. We're going to start off by just spamming some Confusions, and boom, he goes down very, very nicely.
At this point, I was really confident because the Bug Catcher is not going to cause us any trouble, and Confusion should be good against Brock, right? I mean, his Pokemon have really bad specials, so we should have a decent chance. Well, let's get into the fight and find out. Here's the deal. We only reached this battle at level 6, so we really need to confuse the Geodude, hope it hits itself in Confusion a couple times, and use Confusion to knock it out. We got through with only one hit taken on the first attempt. Now let's see how it goes against Onix. Well, we confuse it, and it uses Bide. Hopefully it will hit itself in Confusion and break Bide, but it doesn't, and we take a massive amount of damage, and a Tackle knocks us out. So on the second attempt, Geodude snaps out of Confusion really quickly, and we get knocked out. I'm really not sure how many resets this is gonna take.
So we can see, even when we're getting decent luck, it's really not enough. We need it to be confused. We need it to hit itself in Confusion at least once. Oh, that's amazing. We get through on full HP. Okay. So Onix uses Bide. That's fine. Okay, now it's hit itself in Confusion. That broke Bide. So we'll take that all day. But now we're locked in Bind. Okay. Okay, and we get through. There we go. So we managed Brock here with only 2 resets. That's pretty awesome.
So after that, we're basically knocking out all of the trainers on the route to Mount Moon, and this is looking like a cakewalk. So let's just pick up the rare candy and get to the Super Nerd.
Okay. So this guy right here, Super Nerd. Hey, we've got Confusion to take out his Pokemon. So we're not really too worried about it. Coughing's gonna go down in just a couple hits. Boom. Dome Fossil. Everybody takes the Dome Fossil. If you don't take the Dome Fossil, you're wrong. Now Team Rocket. Confusion 1 hit the Ekans. But we get knocked out right there.
Maybe this one isn't as easy as I thought. We had already 1 reset against Team Rocket.
So Confusion, we knock that one out. Yeah, we really want to take Growl here. Okay, and we get through on the next attempt. So we've got 3 resets, legit resets so far in 10 battles. That's not too bad.
So now in Cerulean City, we face a choice, and I decide to fight Rival 2 first, because Confusion's not going to be good against Starmie. Let's see how the Rival 2 battle goes though, because he can be tough. Right out of the gate, Spearow looks almost insurmountable.
So here, Peck did so much damage. Like, oh my god, and Fury Attack. That was bad. So, we're gonna reset. Let's try this again. We might have to confuse the Spearow. Yeah, there we go. Hits itself in confusion. That's exactly what we want to see. I think we want to confuse Sandshrew too. Okay, we get through that. And now it's just about, can we get through Eevee? There we go. So we had one reset there. That's not too bad.
But after we finally beat Rival 2, we are in the clear for quite a while, because all of these Pokemon on Nugget Bridge are weak to Psychic-type moves. There are so many Poison and Fighting types in Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow that if you know a Psychic-type move, you basically crush 90% of the trainers in the entire game. So this is why I think Venomoth actually has a shot. And here, even against the Onix, we're at a high enough level where just 2 confusions knocks it out. So we're just gonna make our way to Bill's house and get the extra levels so that we can actually have a decent chance when we finally fight Misty and her Starmie. But before we can get to Misty, we've got to take on a really tough trainer for Venomoth. And that trainer, ladies and gentlemen, the toughest trainer in the game, the Innocent Bystander.
I know a way. Okay. So we really just need to not take confusion here. And we get knocked out. Okay. Okay, it was confused. That's good. Okay, and we finally get through that one. Okay.
An Innocent Bystander is just the start of our troubles, because Pidgeygirl on the way to Vermilion makes us reset twice to get through her.
No. Sand Attack did it to us. Okay, we get through that time. Nice.
And the next junior trainer is actually pretty tough himself. Now, I didn't heal before this fight, which was a clear mistake, but really this Spearow and this Raticate do tons of damage, meaning that our little Venomoth can't really stand up. But with those being done, finally, we've gotten to Vermilion City, we've got 8 resets so far, and we can try to take on Rival 3 before we go back and try to fight Misty, only to find that this is another terrible battle. We're getting knocked out by these Pokemon. Now, we do learn Poison Powder in the middle of this fight, but it's just the fact that Spearow, Rattata, Sandshrew, and even Eevee can do pretty good damage to us because we don't have great defense. And really, we're just hoping to get Supersonic to stick so that they'll hit themselves in confusion. Hopefully we can use Poison Strats and knock them out. But that's 3 resets so far. Can we get it on the 4th attempt?
Okay. Okay, this is much better so far. There we go, we finally get through that one. But we can see we're already at 11 resets at this point in the game.
We're definitely not doing as well as Gengar, but we can go and take on Misty now. Let's see how this battle goes, because we might have even more resets here. It's time to find out. Starting off with the junior trainer, she's an absolute cakewalk. Confusion does tons of damage, and Peck really doesn't do that much. So it gives us a lot of hope for Staryu. So against Staryu, we're just going to use Confusion and get through it in a couple hits. On to Starmie. We're really hoping to get Supersonic to confuse it, and then use Poison Powder to whittle it down, and hopefully Confusion plus Tackle plus Poison will be enough. Nope, critical hit Water Gun. We have our first reset.
Of course. So let's try this again. We are going for Confusion, and then we are going Supersonic Poison Powder on the Starmie, and we're going to try to tackle it. And we really want to see some like hitting itself in Confusion. We get through. Okay, that wasn't actually that bad. Just one reset. Really not too bad at all.
So now we have 2 badges in the bag, and I decide not to fight Lieutenant Surge at this point, because Mega Kick and Thunderbolt could knock us out. Instead, let's go fight the Wrapping Lass, where we're starting to see Confusion isn't strong enough to one-hit KO these Pokemon. We don't have Stab for it, and the next trainer is really tough.
Pokemaniacs have smart AI, and this Pokemaniac has a Cubone that's going to use Bone Club, and it has a Slowpoke that's going to use Confusion. So I think we have to confuse the Slowpoke to have any shot of getting through. Let's find out. So here, first, Confusion on the Cubone, and let's knock it out. Now Supersonic on the Slowpoke. And we can see it's taking us out very, very easily. Here we go. So 1 reset so far here. Okay, we didn't take any damage that time. That's good. Okay, it hits itself in Confusion. That's exactly what we want to see. Yeah, just keep hitting yourself, buddy. There we go. We get through. But we're clearly going to have to heal up between these Slowpokes. Otherwise, we just really don't have any shot.
Up next, we have another Pokemaniac with a Slowpoke, meaning we're up against the same strategy. It's going to be using Confusion every turn, so we need to confuse it, we need to use Poison, and in this first attempt, we get knocked out. Okay, we're going to have to try again. Here, we're going to use Supersonic turn 1, and please just hit yourself in Confusion. No, it snaps out of Confusion immediately, of course. And really, we just need a lot of luck to get through these fights. We're already on 14 resets. Yep, now we're on 15. And for Poison-type Pokemon like Venomoth, this is one of the tougher parts of the game because really, we've got smart opponents using Psychic-type moves when we don't have great stats at this point in the game. So it's another reset. Really, we're going to have to see how many times it takes before we're actually able to knock this one out. And if you recall, Gengar didn't really struggle that much here. I think the reason Gengar did much better than Venomoth is doing is because Confuse Ray is 100% accurate, and Nightshade does much better damage than our Tackle is doing here. And Confusion just isn't going to do any damage to a Slowpoke, so this is really the best strategy we have. Here, we've got it very low on health, but we get knocked out again. So we have to hope that the 5th time is the charm. Supersonic, it hits itself in Confusion turn 1. We get Poison off, but we take a Confusion. We take another Confusion. We have to confuse it again. And come on, just hit yourself, Slowpoke. Just hit yourself again. And finally, there we go. We get through. The next junior trainer is no trouble with her grass types, so it's on to the Rock Tunnel Hiker.
So let's see how it goes. First turn self-destruct, and we can see that basically knocks us out. Oh, and he missed Rock Throw, so we survived. We actually had no resets there. That's dope.
Every run's gonna get lucky, so we'll take that one. We take out the last junior trainer at the end of Rock Tunnel and move on to Lavender. I decide to skip Rival 4 for now and fight the Clefairy trainer instead, and we're about to get one of the most important moves in the game. Because Leech Life is a stab move that lets us heal off our opponents, and it's going to be our best option against grass types and against psychic types. The champion has an Exeggutor and an Alakazam. You better bet we're going to be spamming this one. Let's try it on Erica.
So let's try this. Starting off with the Beauty, Leech Life is clearly the way to go. And it's just going to spam psychic type moves, but that means it's never going to damage us, so that's an automatic win. But now we got to take on Erica. So I'm hoping to use Confusion and Leech Life to get through this one. Let's see how this goes.
What stands out immediately is that Confusion doesn't do much damage to Tangela. So Leech Life seems like it's probably the best way to go after poisoning it. At least with Leech Life, we're able to heal up a little bit, and that I think is the best strategy. So let's see how this goes as we whittle this one down. Erica does use super potions, which makes her a little bit trolly with weak moves, but we still have decent HP. Weeping Bell gets us all the way down to 1 HP, but we're able to heal up by using Leech Life. Now on Gloom, we use Leech Life, we get put to sleep, but fortunately it just uses Petal Dance, so it doesn't do that much damage, and a couple more Leech Lives finish the job.
Got really close there at one point, but we did survive. No resets, we got through that fight, so...
That was super clutch. So now time to take on Team Rocket in the Rocket Game Corner, where the grunts are nothing, and Jesse and James also aren't going to be very hard, I don't think. But Giovanni might be another story. So let's see how this goes.
It's going to be a super easy fight. The problem is that Giovanni has smart AI, so he's just going to use Rock Throw every turn, which is not ideal. So I think we're better off putting him off for a little while. Okay.
I decide to put off Giovanni to minimize resets, because with his smart AI and with his Onyx knowing Rock Throw, I'm worried that he's going to be able to take us out, especially because we haven't beaten Lieutenant Surge yet, which means we don't have a badge boost in defense. So I decide that this is a point where I'm just going to make my way down to Vermilion City, and hopefully I can beat Lieutenant Surge without any resets at this point, and if I can, we'll get that badge boost in defense, and then we'll think about going back and fighting Giovanni at that point. I have to admit that at this point I'm actually pretty impressed with how Venomoth is doing though, because we haven't learned any strong attacking moves, and we didn't teach it the Psychic TM. I mean, who wouldn't teach Psychic to a Venomoth at this point and make it much, much stronger than we are right now? But if we can do it without it, that would be great. Let's try Lieutenant Surge.
So I'm going to start by confusing the Raichu if I can. Okay. And we took him down. And we have the chance to learn Stun Spore, but I'm not going to learn it. I don't think it's actually very useful. Stun Spore is really useful if you're like Bellsprout and you know Wrap, because then you can guarantee that you're outspeeding and use that as a way to knock out opponents. But here we don't have Wrap strats, so Stun Spore really just doesn't do that much for us, in my personal opinion.
So with Lieutenant Surge done, I decide, you know what, let's fight Rival 4 before we go back and fight Giovanni. Let's just get all the experience that we can get. You might be saying, but Rival 4 has a Fearow, isn't it just gonna knock you out? Aren't you weak to flying? We are, but funny enough, I have an exploit that's gonna make this fight really a cakewalk. So let's get into it.
But we can poison the Fearow. And because we can poison the Fearow, that actually means that we have an automatic win here by just spamming Poison Powder infinitely. And this Fearow will never hit us.
That's right, folks, because this Fearow's only flying type move is Mirror Move, and because he has smart AI, he's only going to spam Mirror Move over and over and over again.
In the Pokemon Tower, you can actually cheese its AI with anything that's weak to flying by just doing something like this. So boom, there we go. We are on to the second Pokemon. Magnemite, we're just gonna knock it out as quick as possible. Here, I think I'm going Supersonic. Shelter's not really that scary. Granted, we could get ourselves into trouble by messing about too much here. Now I think we have to try to leech life it. Okay. Okay, and we got through. Perfect.
With Rival 4 down, I decided to take on the Channelers as well. Given that Leech Life and Confusion are going to be super effective, we should be able to get through these fights pretty easily. And we can pick up one more rare candy at the top of the tower just in case we need it in our future battles.
Giovanni. Go. Oh, and his attack missed. Perfect. Keep in mind that rock throw is only 65% accurate. Now, Persian, we're going for some confusions. Oh, we barely, hold on. 2 HP, but we got through. No resets, that's nice.
With Giovanni out of the way, we can go back and fight the Ghost Marowak, which shouldn't be too difficult. Ground is only neutrally effective against us after all, and it doesn't use Smart AI. And we can now fight Jesse and James at the top of the tower. Let's see how this fight goes.
Okay, that one worked out. Couple of confusions, that one works out. And here, a couple more confusions, that works out.
So with the Pokemon Tower done, we can go save Mr. Fuji and get the Pokeflute, but that's probably nearly the last easy fight that we really have. I mean, we can take out the Rocket Grunt just fine in Silphco, but next up is Koga or Rival 5. So I pick up the extra rare candy on the way to Fuchsia City, so we actually have 11 rare candies in this run to work with, and we're going to need to use them pretty quickly here, because we're still 5 levels away from getting Psybeam, and a stronger Psychic-type move is probably a prereq for beating Koga. But first, we have to take on these jugglers, and with Psychic-type Pokemon, and Confusion, and Psybeam, and Psychic, these could be pretty tough. Let's see if we get through.
Let's try this again. I mean, see, they can use Headbutt, they can use Disable, they can use Poison Gas, which is just a pure miss on us. Okay. So there we go.
So the first juggler goes down, but he's arguably the easier of the two, because the second juggler's Drowsy and Hypno knows Psychic, and Psychic could absolutely wreck us. On top of that, Headbutt is pretty strong, and if they disable our Leech Life, we're in bad shape. We lose the first one, let's see how it goes on the next attempt.
Okay. Psychic is so strong here. No. Do we go for confusion on these? Okay, it hits itself in confusion. That let us heal up quite a bit, but we still got knocked out.
This battle really isn't working out, and it's just a question of how many resets we have, because we don't have any other battles to take. Here on 24 resets, we're really hoping that we can finally get through this one and get to Koga.
Okay, he hits himself in confusion, that's good.
And we're just really hoping to get the confusion luck plus Leech Life to be able to knock these Pokemon out.
Okay, he hits himself in confusion again. Okay, we get to knock that one out for free. No Psychic. Boom, we get through. Finally. Okay.
That was pretty tough. So I decided to go into the Safari Zone to get the Gold Teeth and the Surf HM, especially the Gold Teeth, because we want to be able to get the extra rare candy in the Warden's house. And with that rare candy, we'll be able to get all the way to level 40 here. Now, you might say, well, 38 is where you're actually going to get Psybeam. Why not just get level 38? The problem is, in my testing, we weren't able to one-hit KO the Venonats reliably with a critical hit at anything less than level 40. And because all of Koga's Pokemon out-level us anyway, we need all the levels we can get. Trust me, this is about to be quite possibly the single toughest fight in the entire game. And we really want to beat Koga here because if we beat Koga, we can go to Cinnabar Island and the power plant, get 3 more rare candies, and level up to level 43, where we'll finally get access to Sleep Powder. Sleep Powder is going to be one of the most important moves in this entire run, so we really need to get it as soon as possible. Let's see how this goes.
So here, Venonat number 1. Here. Sorry, I've changed a bunch of these. There we go. So we can see it's not a one-hit KO. And we really need crits. Or need him to use X attacks here. But I can tell you for sure that we're not getting through Rival 5 at this point. So this is our best shot. We have a critical hit or a super effective move. But we've got to get the ranges and we've got to get the luck with him using something like X attack. Leech Life is not going to do enough damage, so that's why it has to be Psybeam. And he hasn't used a single X attack yet, which is pretty bad luck, but you saw the critical hit there just took down that Venonat. So now we have to confuse this Venomoth to have any shot, and we didn't get it.
We get several more attempts at the Venomoth, and we were getting really kind of bad luck, because we just need to confuse it with Supersonic, and hopefully have it hit itself in confusion, or hopefully have him use some X attacks, which Koga can use multiple X attacks per Pokemon, meaning that if we get a couple of times that it hits itself in confusion and an X attack, we probably get through this fight. We're getting some where we get pretty close. It looks like maybe one more hit would take out the Venomoth. This is a spot where definitely learning the Psychic TM would make this a lot easier.
Okay, that's a crit. That's a crit. That's a crit. Oh, we're all the way to the Venomoth. Full health and 1 Psychic. Critical hit Psychic does us in. The game's like, hey, let's give everybody critical hits. Come on. Okay, X attack. That's nice. Critical hit is nice. X attack is nice. And we survive a non-critical hit Psychic on full health. Pretty useful to know.
We are getting so close in this fight, so it's really just a question of how many attempts is this going to take, how many resets are we going to end up at. We're already in the 70s, and remember, we started this at about 24 resets, so really, we're adding tons of resets just on this one fight. Now, I think most reasonable people would say, hey, go get the Psychic TM, hey, go gain a couple extra levels. That's fine, but we're trying to do this on 0 DVs, minimum battles, and no TMs, and we can see that this is possible. We're getting so close that we just need to get the right luck to line up. So, we're going to take a few more attempts at this and see if we can finally knock it out. Honestly, after this fight, I think we're actually going to have pretty smooth sailing because we're going to get Sleep Powder. And hey, we have 93 resets. What's one more?
Koga, he just refuses to cooperate with us. All we want, Koga, is for you to hit yourself. Nice. We are back to Venomoth full health. We survived the Psychic. It hits itself. Perfect. X attack. Yes! X attack! Yeah! There we go. Finally, we get through Koga. It's possible. It just took us, what, maybe like 80 resets to get it to go? Not quite 80. I think we came in at, what, 18 resets if I recall correctly? So, 75 resets.
Clearly, my brain is pretty fried at this point because I can't remember how many resets I had going into it. But I was just happy to get that fight done. We go to the power plant, we're going to pass by Zapdos as we pick up the PP up and the rare candy here, and we make our way down to Cinnabar Island, and we grab the 2 rare candies available there. And we're not going to waste any time. We're going to pop those rare candies right now, get ourselves to level 43, And with level 43, we learned Sleep Powder, the best move that we can get in the entire game. Don't believe me? Let's see how it goes with Rival 5.
Here. Step 1. Sleep Powder. Does not work on Sandslash. No. Here, I'm actually gonna go for some Leech Life here. Stay asleep. Okay. That's our first reset, but I think we had no choice because we were at such low health. But we outspeed, so really... Oops, that's not what I intended to do. And Sleep Powder's just missing, no! Okay, Psybeam. Okay, a couple Psybeams takes him out. Stay asleep. Psybeam, Psybeam, Psybeam. Yes! Sleep Powder, Psybeam, Psybeam, Psybeam. Okay. And we outspeed Kadabra, so now Leech Life on Kadabra, and now the Flareon. We put it to sleep. We're using Psybeam. It's woken up. No, go back to sleep. Yes. No. Go back to sleep. Boom. There we go. Only one reset on Rival 5. Not too bad.
Okay, so Sleep Powder didn't make it perfect, but it is an improvement over Hypnosis that Gengar was using. We've got 15% better accuracy, and Psybeam is going to crush basically the rest of Team Rocket, because Jesse and James, they're weak to Psychic-type moves, and Giovanni doesn't have any Rock-type Pokemon here in Silphco. Really, Persian Slash is the biggest threat, so hopefully we can put it to sleep and get through the rest of Giovanni's team. Let's try.
So here it's not a one-hit KO on the Nidorino, but that's fine. Persian, I think we put it to sleep. Now Psybeam, there we go. Psybeam on Rhyhorn, I think is the way to go. Put Nidoqueen to sleep. A couple Psybeams is going to do the trick. Boom! So now we have to decide where to go next. Sabrina or Blaine? I'm going to choose Sabrina, and I'm going to choose Sabrina because the Abra doesn't actually deal damage, and if we can outspeed the Abra and put it to sleep, well then we're definitely going to be in a good spot for the rest of our team. I mean, both of these gym leaders are going to be capable of like one-hit KOing us, and I don't think the badge boost and special from Blaine is going to help us against Sabrina, so let's go, Sabrina! No, go to sleep. Go to sleep. There we go. And Leech Life. Leech Life. Boom. Now go to sleep. Go to sleep, Kadabra. Nice. One advantage that we have is that we're not relying on Dream Eater here. So in that sense, we're actually a little bit better. We don't like that she's using all these defense buffs, though. Now I think we have to try to keep the Alakazam asleep. There we go. So first attempt, we take out Sabrina. Nice!
So with Sabrina down, now let's try Blaine.
Okay, so Sleep Powder. Nice. We're doing some Psybeams. Psybeam is not doing that much. He has such good special. And we get locked in Fire Spin. No! No! Okay. That Growl gave us a badge boost in speed that actually let us outspeed. Oh, that's dope. Okay. We need Arcanine to stay asleep. Okay. Arcanine, stay asleep. Don't wake up. You woke up too late. Boom. There we go. Okay, so Blaine didn't actually cause us any troubles.
And with Blaine out of the way, we've beaten two of the toughest gym leaders for a Venomoth in the entire game without resets. Next up, Giovanni. Let's go.
My game plan, put it to sleep. It's 3 Psybeams, it looks like. 4 Psybeams to take that one down. That's bad ranges. Oh, you're such a troll. Okay. Nidoqueen, go to sleep. Psybeam. Psybeam. Thunder's not too bad, actually. Rhydon is the one that we're scared of. Because Rhydon knows Rock Slide. And we get knocked out. Okay, so 1 reset on Giovanni. That's not too bad. We got all the way to Rhydon. And we got a critical hit Earthquake, so that's 2 resets. Oh, we could have gotten that first one too if he just stayed asleep. Okay. Okay. Okay, perfect. We're still on full health. Okay, we'll take that. I mean, the Nidos really aren't that scary here. It's all about Rhydon. Okay, stay asleep, Rhydon. Don't wake up. There we go. Okay, only 1 reset. Or sorry, 2 resets on Giovanni, but that's not bad.
With Giovanni down, it's just Rival 6 and the Elite 4 left. Can we do this?
We definitely want to put the Sandslash to sleep, because Slash and Swift are pretty strong. Now Execute, we want to put to sleep, and we want to use some Leech Life on it. Now Cloyster, put it to sleep. We want to put this one to sleep because of Aurora Beam and Clamp. And now we really need to put Magneton to sleep. Because if it paralyzes us, that's GG. Basically. And it will. It will totally paralyze us. So there we go. We level up. We learned Psychic. We're going to learn it over Psybeam. We put Kadabra to sleep. Perfect. Now we take it out. And Flareon, go to sleep. Go to sleep, Flareon. Oh, we're getting all the sleep luck, and now it doesn't matter. Boom. Rival 6 goes down without a single reset.
So now it's time to just backtrack, get the rare candy in Silphco, the rare candy on Victory Road, and we can make our way to the Elite 4. We haven't learned a single TM, and we haven't fought a single optional battle with a 0 DVs Venomoth. This is pretty cool, if we can make it through the Elite 4. But everybody knows this is where the real challenge actually starts, starting with Lorelei.
Put this Dugong to sleep, and then use Psychic. Stay asleep, Dugong. And there we go. Knock it out. Now we want to put Cloyster to sleep. And this is time for more Psychic. Okay. Slowbro hits us with Psychic. That's bad. But we can heal up off of it, provided it stays asleep.
It's worth noting that Lorelei does use 2 super potions for every Pokemon on her team, and I didn't use PP ups on Psychic in this one, which was a mistake, so really Leech Life is the best we can do here.
Now we're gonna have to deal with super potions. Okay, get through that one. We put Jinx to sleep. Leech Life, come on. There we go. Lapras, Go to sleep. There we go. Psychic is not doing that much though. Oh god. And we get frozen. No. Oh god. Okay, that's an auto reset.
We probably weren't beating Lapras anyway with only 3 Psychics left, so now I'm going to use my 3 PP ups so that we have 16 PP on Psychic, and hopefully that will be enough to be able to get through Lorelei's team. Let's try this.
Let's save right here. There we go. Okay, we got the special drop. There we go. Cloyster's asleep. That's nice. Stay asleep, buddy. We'll take the super potions all day. Just stay asleep. She'll only use 2 super potions per Pokemon, so not too bad. Here now, we're kind of hoping for special drops. Okay. Special fell again. Boom! We just got through, but we got it. Okay. Bruno time. If we don't take a Rock Slide, we should be okay. So Psychic, not quite a one-hit KO. Psychic here, though, should be a one-hit. Should be a one-hit. We've leveled up, so not quite a one-hit KO. Still, that's too bad. And now we really want to put this Machamp to sleep. And now use Psychic. Boom. Bruno's no problem for us.
But honestly, nobody thought Bruno was going to be tough. Now it's up to Agatha, and Agatha could be a challenge depending on what move she uses and if we get confused or paralyzed, but we do have Psychic, and that might just be enough to make this a consistent fight. Let's see how this one goes.
We definitely want to restore our PP. Now let's try this. Now this first Gengar can't do that much to us, which is good. Okay, we knock it out. We care much more about the Golbat. The Golbat is kind of scary. Okay, now Haunter's asleep, and since Haunter has low defense, we're actually going to use Leech Life here. Okay, so we basically use that to heal up. Ah, Glare is terrible. Because now we can get locked in Wrap spam. Okay, but we take it out, and we take a Psychic. Agatha, you troll. Oh, Agatha's so terrible.
So it wasn't quite enough to beat Agatha on the first attempt, but we can definitely see that this fight is possible. And on the second attempt, we take down the first Gengar, we take down the Golbat pretty easily, and now we're on to Haunter, where hopefully we can just use our strategies here to gradually heal up off of the Haunter with Leech Life, and then use Psychic to knock it out. Now, we outspeed the Arbok, let's put it to sleep. Psychic, yes, take it down, and on to Gengar, where as long as we can put this one to sleep, we take another massive Psychic, and we knock ourselves out in confusion. Oh man. The next run against Agatha is almost the same. So we really just have to see if we can get the luck to put the final Gengar to sleep, and finally knock it out with Psychics of our own.
That was bad. Like, this first Gengar really can't do that much. I mean, it can paralyze us, but... Here, we're gonna switch into Leech Life here. Okay. Golbat goes to sleep. Nice. Haunter. Okay, that's an easy KO. That's an easy KO. Psychic. Oh, it hurts. And there we go. Okay. Took a few resets. We're at 101. Okay, so 3 resets on Agatha. That's not too bad. In most runs, I think if you have just 3 resets on Agatha, you'd feel pretty good about yourself. So
now with Agatha out of the way, probably the champion is the only real hurdle left, right? I mean, Lance shouldn't be that hard, I don't think. Let's just put his Pokemon to sleep and Psychic him down and move on.
There we go. Gyarados goes down. Okay, a couple hits takes down the first of the Dragonairs. Here I'm going to try to heal up on this Dragonair. Basically, I'm looking to get it down into about this range, and now Psychic. And now Aerodactyl is going to be the deciding factor here. If Aerodactyl uses Wing Attack and we put it to sleep, I think we win. Anything else? It can also miss with Fly. But, yeah, anything else I think we lose, so. No. Lance, you troll. We also really don't want to see those Hyper Potions. So here, I think we're going to try to whittle these Dragonairs down a bit with Leech Life, since they're the only Pokemon that he has that are really going to take any decent damage from Leech Life, so. Basically, I want to get them down. Oh, come on. There, I think that's already pretty much an automatic loss, but.
So when I said that this battle was going to be pretty easy, I may have spoken too soon, because really, we don't have just the Aerodactyl to deal with. Dragonite knows Fire Blast. One of the Dragonairs knows Ice Beam that can freeze us. The other Dragonair knows Thunder Wave, which can paralyze us and basically end the fight. So really, we can't miss with a single Sleep Powder if we're going to get through this fight. Now, looking at our moveset, even if we used TMs, what could we really get here? I mean, yeah, you might say Mimic, but that wouldn't help us against the Aerodactyl. No, really the only move that we could add that would help would either be Substitute or Double Team. Let's see how many attempts this is going to take, finally, just to get through the fight.
Okay, knock that one out. Wing Attack? Yes. We put it to sleep? Yes. Nice. Sleep Powder. We've got 8 Psychics to take out Dragonite. And we take him down. Finally! There we go! Okay. We're to the champion.
So you might be wondering, why did I save my 2 rare candies for the champion instead of using them on Lance? Well, the reason for that is because I was really hoping that they might allow me to outspeed the Alakazam. Basically, I wanted to gain as many levels as possible and then use the rare candies. Alakazam, if it hits us with Psychic, we're basically dead. The only advantage we have is that the Alakazam is not guaranteed to always use Psychic type moves. It will actually use Recover and Kinesis. It's one of those Pokemon that doesn't actually use Smart AI, even though it's on a smart trainer's team. There are some weird things going on like that here in Pokemon Yellow version, and we're going to take full advantage. Let's get into the fight with the champion and see if we can take this down on the first attempt.
So here, step 1 is definitely to put this Sandslash to sleep. And now I think it's all about Psychic. There we go. Yeah, Alakazam outspeeds, and a critical hit Psybeam will knock us out. But I'm willing to bet that we outspeed everything else on his team, so... Okay. Okay, the non-critical hit Psybeam does not one-hit KO us. Oh, the full restore though. Come on. And Psychic does the job.
So it's pretty clear that this is not really happening. Between Alakazam using Psychic, and sometimes we get deeper into the team, but here we got Cloyster and even Flareon knocking us out. We have to get our sleep powders to connect, and we have to connect with Psychic when we're trying to knock these Pokemon out. How many attempts will this take? That's 115 resets. So in this one, what we're going for, we're trying to put the Sandslash to sleep, and then we're going to use Psychic in order to knock it out. It's a 2-hit KO. Now on the Alakazam, we get the sleep this time, and we're using Leech Life to knock it out. Now on to Exeggutor, we're going to use Sleep Powder and Leech Life. It's a 3-hit KO. Now, come on, Magneton, just go to sleep. And we're going to have to use Psychic. Magneton is a tank. It takes 4 hits to knock it out, but he doesn't use a full restore. Now we put the Cloyster to sleep. It takes 2 Psychics to knock it out, and we're on the Flareon. Let's try.
We survive with 1 HP against Flareon. Oh my god. We got the special drop, and there we go. That's a win. 1 HP win. Oh, so it only took 115 resets with a Venomoth in order to make this work, but we did beat the entire game. So, what that really means, right? Think about this. So Gengar did this with 29 resets in the entire game. Venomoth did it with 115 resets. So basically 4 times as many resets as Gengar. So just because they both completed the challenge does not mean that these two Pokemon are on the same level at all, right? Gengar is so much better than a Venomoth.
Which leads us into the tier listing that I promised all the way back at the beginning of this video. Now that we've been making Pokemon videos for a year, I decided this is the time to actually implement a tier list, but we're going to use some really concrete rules when we make our tier list. So let's look at it really quickly together. So here are the tier list rules, and understand this is coming from the perspective of a guy who really cares about minimum battles. Because our goal on this channel is not to find the fastest run or the most consistent run, it's to find the minimum requirements for a Pokemon to beat the game. That's why we use the worst possible stats, and that's why we try to do minimum battles and even no TMs as much as possible. So I start off with every Pokemon having a score of 100, and every time it resets, we reduce its score by 0.1. This is because, as we showed in the Chansey video, we don't want to be overly consistent, because overly consistent just means over-leveled. The strategies are not so complex in Pokemon, so it's not like you're achieving a super high consistency just by having such an amazing strategy. You're generally just too strong for your opponents. We're then going to reduce the score by 0.25 points for every optional battle, meaning that if one optional battle could actually save us 3 or more resets, we should absolutely take it. But In most cases, that won't actually be the case. We'd have to add a lot of battles in order to actually move the needle. Think about our Venomoth. Trying to outspeed the Aerodactyl is probably not the matter of just 1 or 2 extra battles. We're probably going to have to level grind for quite a while, and that would bog down any run, whether it's a speed run or a consistency run. You don't really want to level any more than you have to. Then for TMs, we're generally going to reduce the score by 1 point for non-broken TMs. But for broken TMs, moves like Double Team, Mimic, Substitute, Toxic, and Rest, well, these moves should really only be used when a Pokemon has no chance of progressing in the challenge otherwise. So in those cases, we're going to reduce the score by 10 points. Bide is a special case, because there are some normal type Pokemon that literally can't hit ghosts, and Bide is the simplest solution for them to be able to do that. So in that case, we are going to allow Bide for 1 point to those Pokemon. But if they want to go Mimic, they're gonna have to pay the 10 points. Now, finally, we are going to break ties between Pokemon, first based on whether they used broken TMs or not, then based on how many optional battles they took. More battles is always worse. Then experience, more experience is always worse. Then we're going to use the TMs, rare candies, and the time and level in order to break ties between these Pokemon. So for our first 2 Pokemon, Gengar has a score of 97.1 because it only reset 29 times, whereas Venomoth finishes at 88.5. Basically putting Gengar at the top of the S tier, and I would consider Venomoth to be an A tier Pokemon. Now with that being said, let's get to the last little bit here. We are going to fight Mewtwo. So, can Venomoth beat Mewtwo? Let's find out.
Okay, so let's take on Mewtwo here, where clearly the strategy is to put it to sleep, confuse it, and now, yeah, I think I'm going for the try to lower its special strat. And if he just keeps hitting himself in confusion, this is going to work out. Leech Life instead. There we go. Venomoth. Level 58. Beats the entire game. Look at those speed and special stats right there. Pretty good. Attack and defense, not so good. But we made it work. Moveset of Psychic, Sleep Powder, Supersonic, and Leech Life.
So that does it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next video, and I'll be doing some live streaming stuff. I've gotten the new internet set up, so I'll be posting on the community tab about that. If you guys are interested, check it out. And I'll also be dropping probably some heads up in the Discord that I've made for RBY Pokemon Challenges. Got a few people over there right now, but you can check out the link in the description below. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next video. Later.